I don't want to talk much. Maybe during the discussion, many more things can come out. But there are about 3 issues I would like to flag here. First and foremost, at this point of time, all of us know about it, but we need to understand the history and strategy of America. See, America, ever since its discovery in 1492, that's about 530 years back, it has always been engaged in of the continent, American continent. It was, founded formally, which was in 1776. That is about 246 years back. Our study shows that something like, they have been at war during this period of about 246 years. They have been at war 93% of their existence, which is, only 12 years in the history of America, they were not involved in any war or conflict. All through they have been engaged in war. Their whole economy, their whole politics has been based on war. I think, here a little digression we need to understand, why America has taken this strategy. Before that, if you find, it was mostly it was the UK, United Kingdom, and sometimes France and Spanish and Italians. See, with UK, it was mostly colonialization, going and taking over a country politically. You take it over and rule it. Followed United Kingdom. Now, when the Americans came on the scene, I think we find a subtle shift here where the shift is not going and taking over the country and ruling it, but rather capturing resources. So, you don't take over politically the country, you have put your own puppets there, and then you control the resources. Not only the resources, but also, I think Jani Bhatia Sahab also has pointed out, establishment of military bases. Because once you have a military base somewhere, you can not only control the country better through force, but also the neighborhood. So this has been the strategy. First, colonization and taking over the politics of the country. Second, the next phase was with America. It was taking over the resources and militarizing that whole area. So that they can control that area. Now, I think of late, if we study the China model, a new phenomena seems to be emerging. Chinese seem to have evolved a new strategy of neither controlling politically nor resources, but controlling markets and economy. Through market and economy, they are controlling, they are trying to take control of the world. We just see the India-China relations now. On the other hand, we have such trade relations, actually a lot of skirmishes and in fact even conflicts are going at the border, India-China border. But at the same time, perhaps all of you have heard and seen that last year the Chinese exports to India had increased manifold. So the way they are designing the economy, we are also hearing about what they are doing to the Sri Lankan economy and so, different economies in Africa and all over the world. So this is a new model which is emerging, and American model seems to have had its time. But America is not going to give up easily. And the second angle which I think has come up is their failure in all the areas. Their model, whether it was the Middle East, where everywhere they have suffered, and finally in Afghanistan. I think Afghanistan was more or less the last name. So here, the desperation, I think, of America to try and expand its influence to control resources through NATO. And that is where Ukraine comes in. That is where, this whole, the whole conflict in Ukraine, I think, is only because of the desire of America to put, missiles and other things and military installations close to the Russian border so that they can control Russia. And this has led to this wherever where we are. And everybody, and another thing which we need to, I think, note here is this is the first time since Second World War that an attack has been mounted on a European country. Since Second World War till now, the attacks have never been on any European countries. It has always been on Middle Eastern countries or on African countries or countries in the Far East. And because it is happening on the European country, one European country, and because I think here racist mindsets are also, will also be in play. Because as long as millions of people in Asia or Africa or Far East are dying, there is not much issue. But there should not be any deaths in the Western world. And here, the talk now of the Third World War. Everybody is saying now we will lead to Third World War. I think that's all nonsense because we have seen the statement of Biden about 2 or 3 days back. When this attack had started, what Biden had said was that he will pray for you, to the Ukrainian people. I mean, what is prayer? You have to say if you are really serious and interested, if you have started it, they have actually instigated this whole situation. If they really want to address this situation, they ought to have sent the troops or whatever. But fortunately, they are not making this mistake. But in conclusion, I would like to say that this whole problem which is happening, I think now Ukraine too would have realized by now that no NATO country is going to come to their rescue, in terms of military aid, support, or putting their soldiers on the ground to protect them or fight with them. So there would be negotiations and which are supposed to be starting today or tomorrow. And I think Ukraine may come out of the shadow of America and NATO. Maybe it could be a soft surrender or whatever, that's what I feel, to Russia. And all that they have to do is they have to say that we won't allow any NATO invasions in our country. And now in the present situation, it doesn't make any sense whether NATO installation is there or not there, because NATO is not coming to rescue Ukraine when it is most expected. But my concern is even more. Because, you see, another type of conflict, I think, is going to start now in the world, where with the American, power going down and with the American, strategy in a way faltering and failing, I think China and Russia may come together. And they may, next what we will see is this whole era of control of markets and control of the economy. And I shudder to think what it could do to people of the third world, especially poor countries. I think we need to start thinking about that also. So the war between America or the Western world and Russia and China may not last for long. But I think we as people of the third world will have to devise strategies to see how we can retain our economic freedom, how we can have control over markets so that, we don't become, sold out to China or other countries. Already it is happening. You must have been following about Sri Lanka. There are so many other countries in Africa which are falling into the same trap. So here I think we also need to think about our future in terms of facing up to this new emerging challenge from China, and I think Russia is going to be part of that. Thank you.